everybody. How's it going? Welcome to Soft Pants Nation. My name is Amanda Duncan, singer-songwriter, craft geek, techie geek, a lot of things geek, but proud geek probably should be on top of that list. So this show is about, basically, I'm trying to inspire people to believe in themselves and to live creative, fulfilling creative lives, because if they're fulfilled and happy by the creative things that they do, you will in turn, they, meaning you will in turn leave the world a better place. Because if you're happy, you'll treat yourself better, and then you'll treat others better. Yeah, better. Maybe I need to take a sip of water before I talk. Well, as per usual, I'm gonna start the show off with some tunes. With a tune, not some tunes. The song is called Livin' in Tennessee. Simple days have come and gone, and I need to find a place where I belong. Far away from city pace, 'cause I'm holding out for some open space. Well, I hear that brand new life calling out my name. I got myself a place to go. I thought that I should let you know. I'm pretty sure that I would be happy living in Tennessee, on a front porch drinking lemonade. Pretty sure that you would be happy living in Tennessee. You by my side, baby, we'll have it made. Time has come to break your plans, cold. The time has come to break your plans. So caution to the wind and take a chance. Let's pack our bags and drive away. There's blue skies waiting, baby. Let's leave today. Can't you hear that brand new life calling out your name? You got yourself a place to go. I thought that I should let you know. I'm pretty sure that I would be happy living in Tennessee, on our front porch drinking lemonade. Pretty sure that you would be happy living in Tennessee. You by my side, baby, we'll have it made. Well, everybody thinks I've gone crazy, but I think I finally found my peace of mind. I'm gonna kick my heels up and be lazy. Really find out what it means to be alive. Pretty sure that I would be happy living in Tennessee, on a front porch drinking lemonade. I'm pretty sure that you would be happy living in Tennessee. You by my side, baby, we'll have it made. I'm pretty sure that I would be happy living in Tennessee. You by my side, baby, we'll have it made. I'm pretty sure that you would be happy living in Tennessee. You by my side, baby, we'll have it made. Hey, JB, are you going to stay in there all night? Oh, you can come out. In full disclosure, I tried to print out my notes for the night, and our printer, I think, I don't know what's wrong, but there's been something wrong, and I have not been able to print out my notes. It's been selective on when I get to print. So Joanna was trying to help me troubleshoot, and I was very stressed, and she was nicely talking me off the ledge, but I wasn't able to be talked off the ledge. So let's see who we have here. Get to the chat. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see who's here. Oh, all right. So I'm going to say hi to everybody in a second. But what I do want to say is that I have a single coming out off of my album March 9th. And so I'm going to be skipping next week's episode so I can kind of prep. And I have music videos, stuff happening with it. And there's a lot like happening behind the scenes. So I definitely need some time to just really focus on the actual music part of my business. And then but tonight at the end of the episode, I'm gonna show you the artwork that I have coming out for it. So I'm really, really excited. Please let me just take a sip of water. It's like the Sahara in here. Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna go to the chatteroo. Okay, so let's say, hey Marie, what's up? Hey Brianna, hey. Oh my gosh, Michael, how's it going? We really do have to cut. Jim, what's up? Hey Doug, how you doing tonight? Susan, hooray. Hey Al, what's up? How's Florida? Okay. Hey, Rich. Oh, my gosh. How are you? So my friend Rich, this week, he went viral on TikTok with one of his videos. Hey, Rich, let people know about it in the chat, please, because that's incredible. I've been so happy for you. I really should smash the printer into next week's stream. I really should. I don't know if it's going to make it that far. But so a big mug of chai tea. Man, do I wish that I liked chai tea. I wish I did. Okay, so let's jump into the topic at hand. So we're talking today about, so what steps will you take to reach flow state more often? And we're diving pretty deep into this topic tonight, and I hope you guys stick with me because it's really cool, because I know that all of us love to get in that like creative, artistic zone. So I want to talk a little bit more about it. But first and foremost, you know how we go. Mover and shaker of the week. So this is my friend Gina Ziegler. And so Gina, I've known Gina a long time. And Gina's someone who is one of my friends who inspires me pretty much every single day. She's always working on different things and different projects, and so I wanted to highlight her. I've been meaning to highlight her for a long time now, and I feel like this is the perfect episode for it because she's one of the most disciplined people that I know. She does a lot of things. She has a lot of goals and dreams, and she's so organized about all of it. Her lists have lists. It's really hard to say lists have lists, but yes. So I cannot wait to talk to you about this journey that we have here. I've always been interested in art and photography since I was young. I stopped creating for a while to focus on everyday life in school. The truth was I missed it. I started taking both art and photography more seriously about halfway through college. Amanda, which I did not ask you to say this, but Amanda actually inspired me to start a quote-unquote photo of the day project. I started on January 1st, 2016. After 5 years, it's still going strong. I would document my day using 2 rules. The first rule, photo must be taken that day. Must in caps. 2, the photo must represent my day as best possible. To keep me on course and hold myself accountable, I wrote out a yearly guideline to manage time for art and photography. So I would produce a photo of the day for all 365 or leap year, 366 days of the year. I would create at least one art piece a month to complete creative freedom on the project. So prioritizing my creative self stops me from letting projects fall to the wayside, which is incredibly insightful. I could do as much as I wanted when I wanted, but this base goal is a good push to keep myself in check, to avoid the whole life getting in the way excuse, which we all know what that's about, everyone watching here. So after doing this for so long, starting creative things feels like autopilot. It's not, it's now a lifestyle. It was difficult at first to program my brain into remembering all of this, training your brain to be like, hold on, making time for my creative self is just as important as everything else. Required an active effort for the first few days until it became something to look forward to. You begin to view things differently. The way you use your time begins to change. So, this is like already so insightful, and then we're going to go into the inspirational advice. And you guys, this is crazy good. Prioritize your passion. So start anywhere. Play the long game. Start with the small goals and let it grow into the bigger ones. Even on days when it's hardest to get out and make things happen, try to make a small effort. Write out goals on paper and break them down to attainable checkpoints. If you keep it in your head, you're focusing on remembering them rather than leaving room for the ways to achieve your goals. That sentence just blows me away, because it's statistically proven that when you write down your goals, you're more likely to achieve them. Okay, back on track. So don't stress if you don't hit your goals at first. It takes time. If you miss a checkpoint, just pick back up, and keep going. The more you do it, the easier it becomes, the better you get. Eventually, it just becomes a part of your life, your everyday life, your everyday. But I added the life, everyday life. Okay, so I want you guys to know that because of her photo of the day, and what's really cool is that it started out as a simple project, and then her photography. Thank you, JB. Nobody saw you. So what I love about, I've witnessed the growth of Gina as not only a photographer but as an artist, and her really coming into like her own style. And I want to show you guys her art. So this is, I'm going to first show you her photos and just really like her use, your use of light over the past even year has really grown. I really love it so much. So I know that you didn't include this one, Gina, for me, but I really love this portrait. I know that you just started to get into portraits in the past year and a half, 2 years, and I really like it. I want to share it. And then the use of light of this, I thought was, just you seeing it and you knew it was going to be a good photo. And then, I love that photo so much. I think it looks so cool. Oh, man, it's just brilliant. And this is, she has this particular way of recreating photos and of mostly of portraits for the most part. And I should have taken a picture of our Louis Armstrong that she's created, but in the show notes, and as you can see, those are her Instagram handles. That's at Gina Ziegler Art. You'll see our Louis Armstrong. It's hanging up on our wall. It's beautiful. So this is so cool. It's just these very strategically placed squiggly lines. So I just really, I love that so much. And that is a beautiful self-portrait that she did, and I just love it so much. And I love that that's there. I'm gonna show this again because I always like to show the art again. So the photos, just such cool use of light. Oh, I love that one. And just I don't know, it's like, it's hard. I can't help you zoom in on these, and that's why you have to go follow her on, just support her and her art and give her some cheers, give her some hearts right now if you're on Facebook, give her some crazy fun emojis like hug emojis on YouTube if you're on there. Oh, I love that so much, man. So Gina, I love the advice that you gave. People are just my friend Dave says starting creative things feels like autopilot. wow, I never realized that's but it's crazy relatable. And actually, we're gonna see Dave's work in a short time. But Gina, thank you so much for doing this, and I think your words of wisdom and your lists, like really, you have such creative ideas and how to accomplish your goals, and I'm just so appreciative of the way you live your life. Inspires me to really think about getting my act together in so many different ways. So thank you so much. Okay, so now we're going to dive into the portion of the show where I've been doing these segments to hopefully inspire you guys to really think about your creative self and how you hone the ability to carve out your time and to really think about what you're trying to accomplish. So, let's dive into what we have going on here. So, you guys know I have the Believe in Your Damn Self chart, the evolving flow chart. So you come up with the idea, you start learning about it, maybe you get some lessons, then you kind of think about what you are trying to achieve with this goal. And sometimes, like, that's not always a part of the picture. And then I'll talk to you a little bit later about why that is. And then so you make a plan, you schedule your time, you do the damn thing, and then you share it with the world. And today we're talking about doing the damn thing. So yes, so I'm ready to dive into this. This is a really, really cool thing. So I want to kind of paint this picture here of, you are doing something creatively, right? You get like lost in the process, and then it feels like, time stands still and then also goes by at the speed of light at the same time. And then you forget to eat. Maybe you forget to go to the bathroom. Like, you're just so lost with you, and it's just you and your craft, and you just get so lost in it. And by the time you're done with it, it feels like aliens have dropped you off. It feels like aliens have dropped you off, and you didn't know where the time went. And that's that feeling it's called flow state. And I wanted to go into that because I just think it's the coolest, most best feeling in the world. So the coin, that term was coined by Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. I've been practicing this all day. Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. In 1975, he coined that term, but the concept, obviously, like, I'm sure cavemen had flow state, right? Like, trying to start the fire and really being focused. And Mihai, he was a prisoner during World War II, so he witnessed all kinds of pain and suffering. And after the war, he couldn't understand why people couldn't be happy. So he was kind of obsessed with, like, he just had like a major curiosity about happiness and contentment. And so that kind of led him to basically like study about it. So he came out with a book in 1990 called let me go back here. It's called The Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience, and it's based on the premises of happiness levels. So your happiness levels, what he says is that your happiness levels can be shifted by introducing flow into your life. So increased productivity is a side effect of flow, but achieving flow is ultimately about leading to a more enjoyable, happier life, because he discovered that people who had flow after the war, the people that had flow were just more happy people. So I want to go over the list of what it essentially, the characteristics of flow. But I don't want you guys to feel like you have to memorize this in any way, shape, or form. I just want to kind of quickly go over it. So complete concentration on the task, clarity of goals and reward in mind, and immediate feedback. So when you're doing something, there's this loop, this feedback loop of you're moving forward towards finishing a project, and then it just always feels good along the way. Like, every step along the way, you just feel good, and that's what that means. So transformation of time, again, time stands still, or it just goes by like in a flash. The experience isn't intrinsically rewarding. It just feels good, and you don't need any major, you don't need a trophy for it. effortlessness and ease. You just feel like you're pretty good at it, and it's just enough challenge to keep you going. So there's a balance between challenge and skills. So there's no anxiety about it, but you're not bored. So in between there is like that ecstasy feeling. Actions and awareness are merged, losing self-consciousness, rumination. And then there's a feeling of control over the task. So there's just like this synergy that's happening within you in the world. And I love it so, so, so much. It makes me so pumped just thinking about it and doing it. And I guess right now, maybe I'm sort of in a flow with this presentation. Oh. So I wanted to, I was really it was a real hard puzzle putting the rest of this presentation together because I wanted to have a good flow. And my co-producer, Faith, her and I were trying to put these puzzle pieces together. And Faith, I want to let you know that I kind of had to change some things around in order to kind of get my point across in a clear way for me. So I want to talk about the things that are important for you to set yourself up for success. And Csikszentmihalyi, these were the things that his tips on in order to get into flow faster. So obviously, we've told us all the time, you got to get enough sleep, because if you're really feeling tired, it's really going to be hard to focus. And then you also have to eat beforehand. So if you're starving, it's going to be really, really hard to get focused. And so you should eat something that doesn't give you heartburn, and it also doesn't give you stomach ache. So, and this kind of goes along with the physical. It was kind of hard to categorize this, but find your peak time to create. So if you're a morning person and you know that, you should definitely try to create in the morning. If you're a night owl, which I totally am, I love being able to create at night. It's hard to get up in the morning sometimes, but that's definitely my peak time to create. But that's really, sometimes also, if all of us didn't have to work, in the afternoon would be pretty great too. So next thing. So you have to eliminate distractions. We all know this. So do not multitask. When you get interrupted from doing something, it literally, I think the stat is that it takes 23 minutes and 15 seconds to get back on track. So think of how many times you're distracted by something. That's a lot of time wasted to get back on track every time. And especially if you want to get that your euphoric feeling of getting into flow state, you can't multitask. You can't do a bunch of things at once. So ditch your phone. You got to put it in the next room. I forgot a bullet point there. Sorry. But ditch your phone is definitely, I guess, part of the multitask. So I know that lately for me, trying to work on this show and getting things done quickly, the show is a ton of work. Sometimes I'm like, wow, this is like so much work. And I know that it's all worth it, but I have to really focus. And I literally have to get into flow state to make this show remotely presentable. And so I've been putting my phone in another room, and I tell people, if you need to get in touch with me, you have to call me. I have my ringer on, but most people don't call. Although extended warranty is really looking out for me right now. So if you're working on the computer, let's say you're writing a novel or doing something on the computer, maybe you're animating, maybe you're doing something, maybe you're video editing, you got to turn off the notifications on your computer. Then you got to close the door. You got to tell your fam or the people you live with that, hey, I'm going to go into this other room and I really need to focus. So I would love it if you would just give me some of this time so I can feel really, really good about my life. So close that door. If you're working on something that isn't audio based, and I know that because I've been writing these segments, I've been listening to focused music with no words, and I'm just typing out stuff. And because if Joanna's working on a project and she's playing keyboard and it's louder, or she's in a meeting, I need to be able to focus. So I've been wearing headphones. It's been really, really helpful. And this is a huge one for me. And this is something that over the past 2 to 3 weeks I've been really focusing on is clean your space. Because if I see, a little thing that I'm like, oh, I should clean that up. Oh, that reminds me of this. And it's just a distraction. And so I've really been trying to eliminate things in my life in the house. Oh, I have to clean that. I've just been taking care of things that I know that are in the back of my mind, because if it's taking up space in the back of my mind, I know it's going to distract me. And I've been using a timer, and I've done this in the past where I use a timer because for sometimes, like, if you are a person who has trouble just starting something, then this will help jumpstart you. Start that timer. You're like, all right, here I go. And then it also keeps you accountable. If you know that timer is running, you're not going to go try to do a million things. It's like, wait, no, that timer is running. And for that reason, I have apps on my phone that have a timer. There's stuff on my computer that has a timer. But actually yesterday because of this segment, I bought a physical digital timer. So I'm going to let you know how that goes because I think it's really, really important. And the Pomodoro technique is 25 minutes. I think that's a statistic that 25 minutes you can be really, really productive, and then 5 minutes off, and then 25 minutes and 5 minutes off. Now with flow state, I want to explain to you that that's not necessarily the case. So you can get into flow state. I think that you can get into flow state within 15 minutes, but then really for optimal flow time, you should really have 90 minutes available. So that's a thing. We've talked about scheduling your time. And also, if you don't have the 90 minutes, please just try to get into flow state anyway. That's okay. Don't put that major pressure on yourself. But I'm just telling you these stats. But I want you to just create anyway, even if you don't have that amount of time. All right. Now, during my study of all of this, I watched this video, Losing Yourself in Flow State by Diane Allen. And this is how I'm going to kind of close out this segment, where she stated that nobody has to wait for a lucky moment to get into their flow state and be the best version of themselves. And she kind of came up with this flow state strategy. And these questions that she asked really helped me put myself in the mindset of, I want to have flow state for more things in my life. A lot of times my life is on the computer, and I want to kind of go into that. We're going to go into that together. We're going to answer these questions. So the first question is, where am I when I'm in flow state the most? What am I doing on the outside and on the inside? Why is this so meaningful? And how do I shift into flow state on purpose and with purpose? And I want to make sure that I have the chat up on my screen here so I can see you guys. All right. Hey, shout out to the Chamras. How are you? I want to give a shout out. All right. So here I am opening up the chat, and it's breaking my flow. All right. So these are my answers to these questions. Where am I in flow state the most? Honestly, it's at the computer. I do a lot of computer work, but part of this flow strategy is to have flow state in more areas of your life. So if I want to try to do more sculpting, where am I the most? Well, I'm usually at my kitchen table. So it's setting myself up for that. If I'm practicing banjo, usually I'm practicing on the couch. So those are the questions. But I'm answering just more honestly with you guys. What am I doing on the outside and on the inside? So on the outside, physically, I'm using a mouse and keyboard. That's literally what's happening. So no matter what I'm doing, I'm always using my hands. If I'm playing an instrument or if I'm writing down lyrics, there's some kind of, tactile thing happening. And then on the inside, I'm using my creative problem solving skills. And that to me on the inside is like, I get the most satisfaction on. That's why I like animating things and finding the best way to make something be animated in an engaging way. Or lyrically, how do I fit this lyric into this puzzle? So on the outside, physically, what you're doing, and on the inside, like in your heart and like in your mind, like what are you doing? Why is it so meaningful? Well, I get to share it with others and inspire them to be creative. So that's what I have going on. And maybe if you can answer these questions with yourself, and you can rewatch this part of the episode where I put the link to her TED Talk in, and you got to check it out. It's so great. And the last thing is, how do I shift into flow state on purpose and with purpose? And I'm trying not to do as much computer work all the time. I need to take time to get into flow state with other things that aren't digital. So creating is how I shift into flow state on purpose. So if I'm creating something, that's on purpose. And inspiring others is how I shift into flow state with purpose. So a lot of times I go into this with the purpose of being able to inspire people. So I hopefully you got something out of this. I want you guys to really think about, because the flow state is the best. That's why I did this segment. I just think it feels so good. So I want to close this out with a quote from Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. For in learning to achieve flow, you learn to control your consciousness. It requires you to concentrate attention on the task at hand and momentarily forget everything else, with the ultimate goal of leading a more meaningful life. And man, that is so true. Don't you feel like undefeated, like unbeatable after you did something with flow? And I know that I'm trying to do these segments, and I'm hoping that I know that the people watching this show, you guys are like my target audience for this. I know you need inspiration to keep doing the creative things you're doing. And I'm here for you, and I want to help create these segments that push you to really think about how you can do the creative things that you want to do. So I hope you got something out of that. And because I know the research for me, like I got something out of it doing the research. So man, I just loved it so much. I hope that you guys, start answering these questions for yourself. All right. So the next segment is a filmed segment by my friend Dave Hulteen. And Dave, I have featured Dave's artwork on the show before. And again, someone who just has such a discipline. I have a lot of disciplined people on this episode, and I just want you guys to know that it's possible to create the art that you want to create if you have a full-time job. If you're a parent, Gina has a full-time job and she's still doing these creative things. Dave is a parent and he has a full-time job and he's a father. So there's things that you can have the discipline and the drive to do these things if you really, really want to. And I want you guys to feel fulfilled. Anyway, enough of these tangents. So I had talked to Dave a couple months ago about doing some to be a series regular on the show, and I think this is a really good launch to that. And I want you guys to know that we talked about the collaboration, and this is what we kind of came up with, and it's in honor of Black History Month. So I hope you guys enjoy it. It was I feel like it was a really cool collaboration, and I feel like Dave did a fantastic job. He's just an incredible artist.
Hi, I'm Dave Hulteen Jr., and I am a graphic designer and illustrator. And in honor of Black History Month, I'm going to draw one of my favorite singers of all time, Ella Fitzgerald. Not just once, but 3 different ways and 3 different mediums. Let's check it out.
Man, how good was that? Oh man. Dave, thank you so much for doing that. In the comments here, we have people saying that that they love it so much. And actually, let's go to the chat one more time. So I want to show you that I'm so happy that you guys are chatting in here. Yes, I'm the worst at being on my phone when working on creative projects. I'm telling you, Brianna, you gotta just put it in the other room. You're gonna thank yourself because even if it's just like behind, like if I know it's somewhere, it'll call out my name, and I yeah, I just highly suggest that. So yeah, read that book, Doug. I know that Doug just had to run, but yeah. So I'm glad I said hello to the Chamras. And then Gina says sometimes I make my artwork space messy because every bit of me wants to clean it up. However, I won't clean it up until I finish the project. And let me tell you, projects definitely get finished. So yeah, so finding the time of day you're most creative and productive, and scheduling your flow state during that time is a great one. It's like just thinking about. I mean, I do like getting up in the morning, like on a weekend, and starting in on a project right away. But yes, I'm thinking about projects that I want to do that are going to help bring me I want to start carving out more time to sculpt more, and I feel like this show has inspired me, like doing that time lapse of Ruby Bridges a couple weeks ago. I was thinking, wow, like I was in flow state. I was jamming on that and it felt so good, and I want to do more projects like that. So I really want you guys to think about, like, what are you going to do? What do you plan on doing? Think about the flow state in your mind of like where you're like, oh, remember that I did that thing, it was a couple months ago, man, I want to do that again. So you got to carve out that time. You got to do these things for yourself to get there more often, because as Mihai Chek sent me Mihai Chek sent Mihai, he believed that in his studies, he believes that the more flow you have, the the happier you are, and you'll have more meaning in your life. And man, I just love that. I love that so much. So really, I really want you guys to think about it. So please tell me you're gonna think about it. So as promised, I wanted to let you guys. I want to share the my artwork for my upcoming single, and so here it is. Oh yeah, I'm so excited about this. This is for those of you who do have my album. My first upcoming single from it is going to be Second Best. My band has been sending me some videos of themselves doing some helping. They sent me some stuff to help me produce a really cool music video for it, and I'm really pumped, and it's going to be so cool. It's already so cool that I already started working on. I already started working on it, so I'm just really inching. Literally, I think that a lot of these projects that I have, if I just do a little bit every day, and then when if I do have the time for the flow state, it really, I really long for that. So I'm hoping to get into. I'll be getting to flow state this week with all the projects that I have going on. So I'm just so happy that you guys are here. This was kind of a stressful, not great day for me, and don't worry, I'm fine. But just like little like things that kind of like, oh man, and I know that I'm doing this show for a reason, and I know that this show is gonna grow and grow and grow. And I know that I'm not making any money off of this show. It's not something that I'm doing for money, but I want uh I I I want this show to be part of my living, if that makes sense, and part of the way I make a living, and I think that's I not I think I know it's possible, along with all of the artistic things that I do for my music. And so I just really, I can't thank you guys enough. So as I always say, as always, what are you gonna create today? What are you going to create this week, this month? And I always say this to you guys, but you don't need anyone's permission to create the things you want to create. And if you're passionate about something and you want to do it, you just don't need anyone's permission. So I'm so happy that you guys are here. And again, so I just want you guys to know, you got to be kind to yourself. And I really want you to think about what you're going to be doing on the outside for yourself and on the inside to get to that flow state. And, I just want you to do your damn thing. Do your freaking thing. That's what I want you guys next week. I just want to hear from somebody in this who's watching the show now. Hey, like, I did this because I got into flow state last week because of your segment. Really made me think about what I needed to do to achieve that. So again, I'm so happy that you guys are here, and again, thank you for hanging out. Bye.